The women at my job made a list of the hottest guys in the store, left me off completely, and now they're tripping over themselves trying to spin it like it's not that deep. So here's the deal. I, 21M, work at a store part-time while I'm attending classes. There are a total of 21 of us who work at this store, 13 girls, 8 guys, and we're all around the same age. We have a pretty good working atmosphere, no open hostility so far that I know of, and everyone gets along well, and jokes around with everyone. Though I will say, the guys and girls do tend to stick together more. As for me, I'm fairly well liked by everyone. I try and be pleasant to everyone I work with, because who needs an asshole coworker? Unfortunately, here's where things go bad. One of the guys who work with us, Chris, 23M, is dating one of the girls in the store, Ashley, 21F. Chris was apparently BSing on her phone when he came across the girls' group chat. He said it was mostly girl talk, but he found a list ranking all of the guys in the store by their hotness. He had a laugh about it and screenshotted it to send to our group chat. Everyone saw it and had a laugh at the rankings. The guy at the top, Chad, 22M, kept sending crown emojis. Then everyone noticed I wasn't there. I didn't look at the chat till later since I was with my parents at the time and had it on mute. When I saw I wasn't on the list, it was like I was slapped across the face. And the worst part of this? The list was out of 10, and they included the 3 delivery guys who drop off stuff and some of the girls flirt with. This crushed me in a way I don't think I've ever been crushed before. It's like, damn, I'm that much of a hideous monster that I'm not worthy of being ranked. I spent the rest of my day being miserable, and not talking to anyone. When I wasn't responding to the chat, the guys all tried to hit me up individually, but I didn't respond. I looked into the chat and the guys were starting to be pissed on my behalf, which I definitely didn't want. I decided to call in sick the next day, and when I didn't show up, apparently it all came out into the open. The girls at the store started messaging me, apologizing to me and making all kinds of excuses. Quite frankly, I didn't care. I decided to face the music the next day and suck it up at work. When I walked into work, the atmosphere was a lot more tense than it usually was. Becky, 23F, who is the assistant manager and was on the group chat, pulled me to the side and asked if we could talk. I said okay. She apologized on behalf of everyone in the chat and said that the list was not serious. It was girl talk, and not meant to be seen outside the chat. She said that everyone, especially the women at the store, like me for far more valuable things than simply how I look, and that if it were a list of nicest guys in the store, I'd be number 1. I couldn't help but feel like this was damage control and being friend-zoned all in one motion. I said, thank you, but I'm past it and I don't want anyone's pity, and I went about my day. Of course, I did end up getting that pity with a lot of the guys coming over to talk to me, and some of the girls as well. I got so fed up I went to the manager and asked to go home early. She agreed because she kinda knew what was going on. This was all about 5 days ago, and since then everyone at the store has been trying to get me to talk, but I haven't gone back. I don't want pity and I don't want sympathy. If they think I'm ugly, then fine, but don't try and justify it, or make me feel better about it. That's just super weird. The reason I'm here is because I need advice on how to navigate the situation at my job and with my friends. How do I tell everyone to basically leave me alone and not pity me? Because honestly, I'm leaning towards just quitting. Edit. Hey everyone, I'm reading your comments and I thank everyone for their input, the tough love and all. I just wanted to pop in here and say one thing. I didn't feel entitled to them thinking I was hot. I don't feel entitled to love making or whatever from them. I'm not a nice guy or an incel. The reason I was upset is because them leaving me off the list for relative strangers felt pretty cruel and messed up. I don't know how to describe it. Like it, guess it sucks I'm not attractive to them, but being left off entirely felt like a step too far. Relevant comments. Commenter, so sorry that happened to you, OP. I hope those girls all get a reprimand of some kind. That was not okay and HR should have been involved. In all seriousness, your looks do not dictate who you are or your value. Without seeing a photo, no one else can judge either. So let's make a new list. 1. You're friendly and open to valued communication. 2. You have handled your emotions well and empathetic. 3. You're clearly working and driven. 4. You set a boundary and stuck to it. You're a good human. That's pretty top-notch in my book. Looks fade, nasty dispositions usually don't. OP. Wow, okay, seriously, thank you. This really got to me. You have a way with words, friend. I hope someone makes your day like you made mine. Commenter number 2, rooting for you, kid. I am actually ugly and have always been left out of all those kinds of lists and discussions. It sucks, it's hard, but you're smart and strong. Hope you find a kinder workplace. OP, I don't mean this in an empty, nice way, but you're not ugly, friend. The world just doesn't see your beauty. I hope you find your peace. Commenter number 3, that fucking sucks. The guy who was at the top was named Chad? That's almost too perfectly coincidental to be real. There's nothing left to do except quit and find a new job and forget any of those people existed. OP, I've seen this a couple times now, it's just a fake name lol. As in he's a Chad for being at the top of the list. Update, 5 days later. Hey everyone, I'm back and boy do I have an update for you. I can't believe this situation exploded so much. There was a fight, arrests, and I think someone might be getting divorced. Okay, not really. People wanted to know how I was doing, so I decided I'd just make an update. I just wanted to clear up a few things. First, I didn't care necessarily if they found me ugly or whatever, I just felt like being left off the list was a deliberate slap in the face. I didn't, or don't feel entitled to anything. Next, the manager of the store, Barb, was not involved in the group chat in any way. She's a 38-year-old married woman with 2 kids who is far too busy trying to get us to stop smoking weed behind the store on our breaks. What I meant to say is that she was made aware of the situation after it was brought to her attention. Third, I wasn't aware of the list right away, I was with my parents and wasn't paying attention to the chat. Now, after reading the comments on the first thread, I decided that while I could be upset that I was deemed unattractive, I probably shouldn't care as much as I did. I kinda wanted to discover why not being on the list hurt me so much, so I took my sister's advice and will be seeking a therapist. Funny enough, my grandpa has a saying that came to mind when reading the comments in the first thread. Whenever my dad or his brothers and sisters would be upset about something, my grandpa would tell them, "I didn't get wounded in the Yadrong Valley so you could sit there and cry about X." The X could be anything. The point is he was telling them to toughen up. It became a joke among my aunts and uncles that passed down to my cousins. So I could hear my grandpa telling me in head, "I didn't get wounded in the Yadrong Valley so you could sit there and cry about some girls thinking you're ugly." And that got me up a bit. I was still feeling kinda crappy, but I decided to put on a brave face and tell my manager I'd come into work the next day, after posting the thread. As soon as I walked in, the manager took me to her office and said the owner of the store wanted to see me. I wasn't really worried since I had a good relationship with Carl, who was the owner. Carl told me he heard about the story and he was sorry about everything. He said the list was childish and unprofessional and he was sorry I had to take time off to deal with it. He said the girls all got a strong reprimand and a stern warning that this wouldn't be tolerated in the future. He also suspended Becky because he said she should have not been in the chat to begin with, and if she was, she should stop the list stuff. He also emphasized that he told everyone that he hadn't talked to me yet, and that he wasn't punishing anyone because I asked for it. He also said he'd pay me for the shifts I missed as a bit of compensation for the mental distress. I thanked him and told him I was over it pretty much right away. I just hated having everyone think I needed coddling and wanted everything to cool down. With that we shook hands and I started my day. Everyone welcomed me back, and I said hey to everyone. I went to my locker and found a letter slipped inside. It was a handwritten letter from all the girls. I'll summarize here because the list was long. In it they apologized profusely for the chat and the list. They said that nothing was going to make it right, or make me believe them, but they wanted to say once again, the list was non-serious and meant to be some stupid fun. And no one was meant to see it. They said that they all loved me individually, that I was a good person and that makes me more attractive than most people who are considered hot. Interestingly, they said I was considered cute. Okay, then lol. I flagged down one of the girls on shift who I get along with really well, Sam, 20F, to tell the group that I accept their apology. I told her to tell them that I got over it pretty much right away, that I just took time off because I wanted the situation to die down and that I didn't take anything personally. Also I told her that I'm sorry that anyone got in trouble. I didn't talk to the Barb or Carl about anything until today. I didn't want this to become an issue at all. Unfortunately the guys made it an issue on my behalf. Sam apologized again and told me she'd tell everyone. And that's that. Sorry if this was not the explosive post you all were looking for. I just wanted to get this situation resolved as soon as possible and put behind me so that I, and everyone else can move on. I am thinking about not returning next semester however. So thanks all, I appreciate your comments and helping me get through this little episode in my life. Second update, 4 months later. Hey all, I thought I'd stop by for a quickish update. I had enough people in my DMs asking me how I was doing and I got sick of responding to everyone individually, so I thought I'd do it here since this really didn't warrant a whole new thread. First, I'm doing great. Therapy has been amazing so far. I even managed to go in person, which my therapist says is really rare these days, but now that I'm back in school I'll be doing virtual. Back to the point, I learned a lot about myself in therapy and I've had my view of the world altered to some degree. It's actually really cool to see the world in a new light. Second, I know this is gonna sound cliche as fuck, but I started weight training. I'm not trying to be Chris Hemsworth or something, I just want enough to have some definition, and abs. I was always a little skinny, so I'm going for the swimmer's physique. I also got a haircut and changed up my wardrobe some. All of my clothes except for a few were from high school, so it was time to change it up. No more band shirts and old sweats. Instead I'm trying for a semi-casual look. Or at least that's what my sister thinks I should be doing. Third, as for the store, I quit. I couldn't work there anymore, it would have been just too weird. I finished the semester and got a summer internship. Funny enough, I ran into one of the girls who worked with me at the mall. She lives a town over. She asked if I was still mad about the list and I told her I wasn't and never was. She said they really didn't mean anything by the list and they really did love me and thought I was super nice and that I was pretty cute. I guess that's a good thing lol. It kinda sucks because I was looking forward to being a 4-year lifer at the store and hanging out with everyone more, but hey, it is what it is. I'm still really cool with everyone, we hang out all the time and it isn't awkward. So I guess that's it, and if you're still following this post, thanks.